show is brought to you by visitlauderdale.com.
Good afternoon, everybody, and welcome to a special Visit Lauderdale Thursday edition of Mike Mayo's Lunchbox. Today, coming to you live from Christina Wan's. Is it still Christina Wan's Mandarin House or just Christina Wan's?
Christina Wan's is fine.
Okay, we've made it simpler for these times. And Neki Mohan is running a little bit behind today, but that's okay because means more food for us. We got Lubie behind the mixing board. He's going to join us in a second until Neki gets here. But most of all, I am very pleased to be joined for her Lunchbox debut, and she's watched a few of them now. Long-time Fort Lauderdale restaurateur, and again, we're celebrating Women's History Month, and she is a woman, obviously, owner, proprietor of a restaurant. It's been here a long time, right here on Federal Highway. Welcome to the show, Christina.
Thank you.
And it's Christina Wan. Okay. But Christina Wan was your maiden name.
Right.
And just give a little bit of a background. I mean, your family has been in the restaurant business in South Florida for what, 5, 6, 7 decades now?
My grandfather opened the first one down in First Avenue and 8th Street, downtown Miami, in 1966.
That's a good year. That's the year I was born. So that's a long time, folks.
And he immigrated us here from Hong Kong in 1970.
Right.
So we've been here since 66.
So you were born in Hong Kong?
Hong Kong.
Oh, good. Okay.
We were all born in Hong Kong.
Nice. And you made your way here to South Florida.
Uh-huh.
And then I guess your dad operated a restaurant too?
My dad opened his first one in the early 70s in downtown Hollywood on Young Circle.
Right.
In the mid 70s.
Okay.
And then we were on Hollywood Dog Track. Then we were on Sheridan Street.
Right. And that's where the family business was based a long time. How did you end up here in this location? I guess it's been, you were saying 19 years almost?
Yeah,
and
almost 19 years here.
And it's the lovely Victoria Park Shops, I guess, where the Winn-Dixie is. It's next to Shuck and Dive. I guess the address is 664 North Federal Highway.
Correct.
And open every day.
No, I'm closed on Tuesdays.
Closed on Tuesdays. Open every day but Tuesday.
Correct.
For lunch and dinner.
Correct.
And how would you describe just the vibe and the cuisine? And
Well, I think our cuisine has changed due to the different kind of dietary needs or whatever as people change.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? I've seen it when it's old-fashioned to new fashion. When years ago people ate chicken chow mein thinking is onions, napa, and bean sprouts, right, with chicken. But now, if you talk to the people that come from California, chicken chow mein is really noodles.
Right. It was originally a noodle dish, or I guess
years ago.
ago.
In Hong Kong, in Asia, it's always been noodles.
A noodle dish, yes.
Right, but with crispy noodles. But here in the United States in the 50s and the 60s, there's no crispy noodles. And then they fried up those skinny noodles and they served it on top of that. And that's
Neki's
Hi,
here.
Neki!
Neki's here.
How are you?
Come on in, join the show. We just started, and we've got, we were very courteous. We didn't dig into any of the beautiful appetizers that Christina has prepared for us. And here we are, Visit Lauderdale edition.
Good to see you.
Neki Mohan.
Yes.
Christina. And
I want to tell you, I watch you all the time when you were on Channel 10.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. I know several Jill used to work for you at one point. So no, this is great.
Yeah, and also somebody we know, Yvette. Yvette Ning?
Oh no, Yvette John.
Diego's
Diego's
wife.
Yep.
There we go. Now Diego and her nephew Alex run Temple Street Eatery.
Alex is your nephew?
Yeah,
that's awesome.
And we're going to get into all of that
family
because
business.
Christina, we're here.
That's the 4th generation.
Oh wow, that's amazing.
Yeah, we were getting into the background, Nikki, and of course, Christina's grandfather emigrated from Hong Kong, where
No,
she
no,
was.
no, no,
No,
no.
I'm sorry.
My grandfather
Yep.
came from China to
Ah.
South America to the United States.
Okay,
And then,
that's a true U.S. American story. What just
okay,
yeah.
that was in the late 50s,
Okay.
early 60s.
But your family was in Hong Kong. Yes.
Yes, and when my grandfather settled down here with a restaurant, he immigrated us here.
He got you here.
Mhm.
And now, we were going to, like I was saying, we're wrapping up Women's History Month, and you have quite a bit of history yourself here in South Florida and the whole restaurant community, because you broke off and basically, became your own boss, the owner,
Yeah.
proprietor of this establishment that's been here since 2005.
Right. And then I was in downtown for 10.
And then you have a
Downtown
Gulfstream property too?
No, that's
No.
Christine Lee.
Yes,
Oh, that's another one.
It's
Oh, sorry.
easily confused. And it was
Oh.
funny. We were just talking before airtime
Sorry
about
that.
Christine Lee's is now run by Christine's daughter Mary, and they have never met, but it's a similar vein, kind of old school Chinese American, where you get those comfort classics. I grew up in New York and Brooklyn, and on the Let's Eat group, you get all these people saying, "Oh, we want real New York Chinese food." Well, it's like there's no such thing as New York. Well, I mean, there's a certain style where on a Sunday night we would all go out for Chinese dinner, and we would get our spare ribs, we'd get our egg rolls, we'd get our wonton soup, we'd get the various dishes, sometimes the Mongolian beef or the big different mixed seafood with the noodles. But everybody, wherever they grew up, had their own style, and Chinese food is universal because the Chinese have emigrated everywhere.
They go where there's opportunity.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
When did you come to South Florida?
In the 1970.
In the 1970s. Wow. And how old were you?
I was 8.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. And your family was in the business
Already. My grandfather has been in this business ever since before my father was born in China.
Wow.
He used to have a restaurant in China serving the Chiang Kai-shek government.
Oh, wow.
And escape with them to go to Taiwan before the Mao Revolution, when the Mao Revolution was coming by. And then that's how they got out.
Right. And before you got here, we were recounting. First, they were in downtown Miami. Then they were in Hollywood, Young Circle, later on Sheridan Street, also at the dog track for a little bit. And then Christina came up here. They were in at one point a little bit further north in Fort Lauderdale, but now she's been here since 2005, and it's really become a mainstay of this Victoria
I mean, everybody
Park
knows
community.
it's here. How do you like being here?
At the beginning was great. Then the downturn of the real estate really affected us. Okay, because
2007, 2008.
Yeah, because all of that should have been built around that time. Okay, and then of course with the real estate, it just like came and fell apart.
Right.
And then it was a struggle for a little bit, but thank God I have my local followers.
Right.
Yes.
Okay, followers, not meaning online followers that drove here.
Well, people need to eat.
Yeah,
so
from everywhere.
And that's what I always say, because I'm in tourism now and we market the destination to tourists. But I'm like, if you're a local business, and that's why we're big fans of the Let's Eat South Florida page, is that if you're a local business, the only way to survive is to have your local followers.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely.
Particularly in the summer month. Well, I mean, we've become a year-round destination, that's for sure. But, the bread and butter is making sure you have that base of locals who's going to come in, once, twice a week, pick up lunch, have dinner, that kind of stuff. And that's exactly what this place is all about.
Yeah. Correct. We are home to everybody, there's people that comes here at least twice, 3 times a week sometimes, so that's really good.
I've got a lot of ground to cover with you, both about being a woman entrepreneur and how you've staked and help other businesses get going, and restaurants, and some that are thriving, like your nephew's Temple Street Eatery right down the block. But before we get into that, I just want to get to the food. And Neki, God bless you. You beat me. I
come here hungry. You know that.
I know, and I'm hungry too, but I've shown incredible restraint because I want to dive in. What do we have here, Christina?
That's the spicy chicken wings.
Spicy chicken wings looks like it has my name all over it. It's a little bit of what, like hot peppers? And,
hot peppers, scallions, a red and green pepper, a soy base.
Do you marinate these? Yes. It tastes very well seasoned.
Correct. See, the key thing to our chicken wings is we marinate the chicken wings naked. Okay. So there's flavor all the way through to the meat and not just the coating outside. Well, there is no coating outside. It's really naked.
Oh, it's got
just
some
fried
zing.
egg.
It definitely has some zing.
Yeah, and the sauce is really good.
Yeah.
It's got like
No, I ladled on a little bit of the
Yeah.
extra, the soy, and I
Yeah.
love that. You know, you talk about changing customer taste. People have become so much more aware. You know, back in the days when you would have things that
So
are,
good.
you know, have that soy or a little bit of fish sauce. You know, now we call it umami, where it kind of makes gives
Yeah.
you that pucker up sensation, and that has great umami flavor. So
yeah, that's what
well
they
done.
call them now. And now there's names for everything.
Yeah.
Wow, wow. How have you seen? And you know, where I live, why my daughter went to school in Miramar,
Uh-huh.
we have a big Chinese population.
Yes. Yes.
How have you seen the local Chinese population grow, and are they a big part of your customer base?
No, they're
No?
not. Actually, the Chinese growth in the West is not really. Not a lot of them are from whether it's China or Hong Kong or anything.
Really? Oh, okay.
Is the South American Chinese.
really, oh,
Really?
huh.
You don't see that.
Kind of like Diego,
kind of like Diego.
because Diego's from Venezuela.
Because even if the local big dim sum place out there,
Uh-huh.
China Pavilion. Yeah,
Yep.
that's gotten a lot of
They
buzz. I
are-
haven't been there yet. Yeah.
they are Venezuelan Chinese.
okay.
They're
Wow.
not Chinese. They're not
They ain't Chinese. Chinese. They're
They're
not.
not Chinese.
They're not
Chinese.
legit.
Well, it just
Well,
goes
that's
to
the beauty of
show
South Florida.
we've
Alright.
become a total melting pot
Mhm.
globally,
Yes.
and like you said, there has been a lot of first people went to work, in these South American nations, a big, obviously in Peru and Colombia and
Right.
and Venezuela, and then as there's different things going on in those countries, they come to Florida. So it's just a real mishmash.
Yeah,
Don't
it
forget the
is.
Chinese Jamaicans.
And
Yeah,
yes,
there's a lot of Chinese Jamaicans. So because the biggest crowd of the Chinese people immigrating to the United States is during from Hong Kong at least
Mhm.
is from the late 70s and the and the 80s, some in the 90s, but the late 80s, early 90s would be the ones that were coming first out of China. Okay, now, or at least before COVID, China's been prosperous. They don't really need to come here to make
Mm.
money. If you can do business over there with an American company,
wow, you
they
have a
make
higher
a
standard.
lot.
higher
Yeah.
standard of living than
Correct.
previously
cheaper.
possible.
They
Yeah.
don't want to come here and labor themselves in the Chinese restaurant. Okay, this is labor. Okay, over there they can live luxuriously.
Mhm.
So during the I guess revolution of China getting more busy, they don't need to come here.
Right.
So the people that were the Asians that were coming here were from South America.
Oh, wow. That makes sense.
So
So
That-
most of your customers are not Chinese.
And is there a difference in how food is prepared?
oh,
or-
absolutely.
yeah.
They call it chifan.
Right. The chifa is the Peruvian Chinese. I've seen a bunch of that.
Correct.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
And even the Venezuelan Chinese are like that.
Mhm.
Okay.
So what are some so here you would call this like the
This is
classic
New York Chinese.
New York Chinese. I mean, where you get the
The
egg roll.
ribs.
But even now you were telling me that the egg rolls, I was saying, do you use the shredded pork and little bits of shrimp, which is what I grew up with in Brooklyn. But now you're telling me it's changed, right?
It's changed because of all the dietary reasons.
Between
people's-
Jewish people who don't eat the pork,
Right.
Muslims who don't eat pork, and
Yeah.
some people just don't eat
And there are a lot of people allergic to shrimp. I mean, seafood.
seafood, right?
Right. Or shellfish.
Shellfish.
Okay.
allergies.
So it's only ground chicken now.
So you've adapted and you use the vegetables with the chicken.
Yeah. And that's
And-
why you don't get all that redness inside the egg rolls, but it stays
Right.
crispy. We make our own.
Yeah,
we
no, and those
would-
look like a proper wrap where,
Yeah.
the deep fried crunch. How is it, Nikki? Did you have
It's
one? of them?
delicious.
Oh,
It's
that's good.
absolutely, but I can tell it was gentrified.
Well,
It's
I was born in New York, so I'm used to like New York
Right.
Chinese food. And then I grew up in Trinidad.
Uh-huh.
So, and as you know, Caribbean Chinese was
Yes.
completely different,
Yeah.
you know?
Yeah. So
Well-
there's so many different variety of Chinese
I
restaurants.
mean, the bottom line is you work with what you have to please the client base,
Yes.
yeah.
Yes.
like you're doing here.
Like for instance, I tell Michael that I can do real Chinese.
Like authentic,
yeah,
the Szechuan.
It's
or the,
am I going to have a good customer base? I'm not. Listen, I don't want to be frying chicken nuggets for sweet and sour chicken, honey garlic chicken, and all of that either.
Right.
But I do it
right.
because
Because it sells.
it sells.
Right.
Okay.
No, and you're in an area of town where you do have to cater to your customer base.
Yeah.
There are other Chinese restaurants that are, in different pockets of town
Right.
that can do that, other styles. And that's the beauty of the whole area
Right.
is that there is something for everyone and whatever taste that you're looking for. And like, to me, this is comfort. And Jeff Defo DeForest, if you're out there, you'd be happy to know that
no more
Christina
package.
would never use a packet mustard. She actually has them in these like beautiful like syrup pours. You can just like
Yes,
mix them
just use
together as you pour them. And I've got that on a plate with my glaze. These ribs. They have
They're
this.
so good.
It's like a lacquer.
Good.
I said they
So
look
good.
like lacquered ribs. They are
Yeah.
gorgeous, and I want to just dive in. Except then I'm going to be have
That's
my mouth
okay. I
full.
can take over.
That would be
Now, after the 2007, 2008 crash, when did things come back for
I
you?
have to say,
And how they're doing now?
Yeah, well, this is really amazing what's going on across the street. But the kids across the street really, not everyone's educated with even New York Chinese.
Mhm.
Okay, you have to educate them on how to eat. So I like to try to, especially if they're hanging out at the bar, that they sit and I introduce them to other things than their normal general chicken and all of that. Your
Mhm.
comment yesterday on the general chows, okay? But so those, like, they never even knew what even the people that are on the east side of town, they don't even know what mushu pork is.
Oh, okay. They
Okay.
don't have the mushu pancakes anymore. These kids
they-
today.
They don't. And I said to them, this is what I tell them. It's burritos before burritos was ever introduced into the United States.
Right.
Right? Am I correct?
But for some reason, they're all into the bao buns. Like,
yeah, they
yeah.
are.
Yeah.
They are. I'm not crazy about
I
them.
like the thin pancake myself.
Correct.
It gets out of the way. It lets the meat and the interior fillings shine. And
Yeah.
same thing with the Peking duck. And you do a Peking duck.
I
here,
do.
too.
I do. I do a Peking duck. I do it from scratch. And then I will forward you the videos.
Yeah, we're
on
going to
how-
post it and append it on the Lunchbox, the various platforms in the comments section. We're going to be posting some of the videos that Christina is going to send along of how they prepare some of these dishes.
Wow.
And
Yeah.
just like the Peking duck you were showing me, it's incredible. You blow up the skin so
Yeah.
it creates that separation.
Yeah.
And then you make it crispy.
And then
Well,
it
that's
sits
the
for a
only
day.
actually that's the only way to make it crispy.
Yeah.
Everybody doesn't know that. Everybody just think it's like it's like
Fried in a deep fryer.
yeah,
Yeah,
to
no,
get it
it's-
crisp. You can't. You have to separate.
It's a process,
the-
and to get
the
that
f-
proper
before you
crisp
even-
skin and the fat rendered.
You have to
Yeah,
this is
Nikki's
a
checking
bicycle
out the
pump,
video now,
okay?
but it's like
and say you pump air in between the fat and the skin.
there you go.
Mm.
And we're going to be
Separating
posting
that.
these online
Okay,
later.
so
And it's no, it's an
like,
incredible
then there's a
process.
hot water bath,
And
then there
it
is
takes
a red vinegar and honey bath.
how long from start to finish to prepare these?
Oh, at least 24 hours.
24 hours. And
But
do
we
people
sell
have to
so
order in
no,
advance?
because we sell so much of it. We do it almost
You
every
always
day.
have it in house ready. And I know, it's become an expensive product, but you still sell it very reasonably for the amount of labor and prep work that gets involved.
Yeah.
And look at Christina. She's ever the hospitality host. She's making sure everybody gets seated right away.
No, because I know these people.
Ah, okay. Long-time customers. Welcome to the...
This is Michael Mayo.
Yeah. Well, nobody could hear you, but it's long-time customers love the
Hi.
it is the the
Oh,
epitome
nice.
of
I love
the
Alex.
the neighborhood
Yeah.
place, but also that you
Nice
strive
to
for the upscale vibe, and you have the well-prepared dishes,
Yeah.
and I guess
I want to know what Christmas Day is like here.
Oh my God.
Because
Christmas Day,
because in New York,
it is the busiest
Jews
day.
go to Chinese food.
Yes. Christmas Day here now. I will tell you right now. Last 2 years, even during COVID, it's 48 hours in advance ordering,
Wow.
pre-order before you could even get a takeout on Christmas Day. It's 48 hours in advance.
it's become a ritual for
Yeah, for a lot of people. And
Yep.
a lot of people called last year, oh, I got to get it in. I missed the cutoff point last year. We will not accept any that day.
So you have to
order.
prep for it.
Yes.
You have to prepare.
Yes. And we prepped enough, but still for Christmas Day and Christmas Eve, I had no ribs and no ribs and something else. None for dining room. only
Wow.
was already all allocated for takeout.
Wow.
I had 70 orders of
Egg
ribs.
rolls or no? What sells out?
No, ribs.
Ribs.
I,
Okay.
I had 70 orders of ribs for takeout on
Wow.
Christmas Day.
That's a lot of ribs, and people love it. So we're here with Christina. Well, I'm just going to call
just Christina Wan. That's fine.
Christina Wan because that's what everybody
Yeah.
knows you as, and that's the restaurant name also.
Yes.
And just talk a little bit about being a woman in this business.
It's a little harder.
Why?
Well, it's not hard. Well, it's not so hard for me because I came up with the family and
Right.
we already had a long time follower. I can see somebody like even down in Miami, how many women restaurateurs do you know?
Not many. I mean, there's a lot
Maybe
of
Michelle-
husband and wives, but
Yeah.
but when you're talking about Michelle Bernstein, but she also her husband is part of the whole equation.
I think everybody's husband
Yeah.
is always part of the equation
Yep.
if you come to
Why
our-
is this not an attractive thing for women? You think is it too much work? Because I know you eat, breathe, and sleep your restaurant when you first started.
Correct. I don't cook.
Me
My
neither. That's
husband does
hilarious.
all the cooking. Okay,
Right.
so he's
Oh, okay.
really good with all the prep and everything inside.
So good.
You're the business person.
Yes, so I run at the front of the house, and he's really good with back of the house. It's just like Fluvio's.
Right.
Right. She runs the
Mama
front.
runs the the
Yes,
front.
and
Yep.
she's the face of
Yep.
Fluvio's, right?
Down in
and
Hollywood. We're
down
talking
in
about
Hollywood.
Sardelli.
Yeah, Stardelli.
And they just lost. She just lost her
Her husband,
husband,
I
and
know.
Fulvio Jr.'s dad. But
Yes,
Fulvio Jr. is the
Is-
chef,
right.
and Mama is running the front of the house.
running in the front of the house.
And she is the businesswoman there
She
too.
is
so-
as well. Yeah.
yeah.
So I think that is good because my husband could never do the front.
Yeah.
You're
How
the
much do
people
you
person.
enjoy it? Because you must enjoy it because
I enjoy it.
the next generation is starting their own restaurants now. I just met Alex's mom.
Well, that's Alex. My daughter doesn't want to get involved.
She doesn't.
And that is why there's less and less Chinese restaurants.
Right.
Okay. Most of the older Chinese generation already told their next generation, don't do this. This
Huh.
is too much work. That you have no holidays. You have no holidays.
It's-
Okay.
It's a
So
hard business.
They
yes.
all became professionals. All
Right.
the people that I know, even one of the little waitresses that I know in one of the restaurants, the daughter went to Harvard,
Mhm.
and they're all
Well,
professionals now.
And
And
that's
a guy who works for my husband's both son, one works for BlackRock and one works for whatever. They went to Brown and whatever.
and that's
But
far,
then they're going to come back with big funding, and they're going to do something. I mean, I think that there's certain even when you watch these food shows,
Uh-huh.
I forget what's the name of the Asian chef that goes everywhere on the food shows. You know what I'm talking about?
Oh, no, I don't know if
Yeah,
it's Jet
there's one
or-
anyway.
Okay.
But they all, when they need to feel like connected to their roots, they come back to food.
Yeah, they do. They do. Everybody, because like Mike said, everybody has they like their food.
and it's what they grew up with, so
Correct.
everybody has a different version of what is
Correct.
like the best or the proper way to do things. It's usually what they grew up with, and
Yes.
so there are no wrong answers. It's just whatever you grew
Right. And
yeah.
also, like, even for most of the Asian people that are here, I believe they prefer Asian food over any other food.
Yeah.
They
Yeah.
do. Now, you're on the east side of Fort Lauderdale, and in the last few years, we've really gotten a large
my
influx of
God.
New Yorkers.
Yes,
Is that are they a big part of your new client
they are.
base?
They are. They are. A lot of them are here, and so they are. They find me. They really find me.
Well, I think if you Google best Chinese food in Fort Lauderdale,
In New
this is one
York,
of the
Chinese,
first
yeah.
places.
Yeah, like the two people that were here, they're from New York. They're only here every couple of weeks
Mhm.
and they're here like
and they
twice.
come in like religiously. Yes,
When
like
they're here.
clockwork.
That
And I guess, well, I posed a question to the group today, like because everybody has their preferences, but you do all these things. What's your favorite soup, Neki? Are you hot and sour, wonton, or egg drop?
I'm a wonton girl.
You're a
Oh, that-
wonton girl.
Mhm.
Uh-oh.
I'm a wonton
She's got to
girl.
go. Oh, don't
Annie.
forget to take off.
Yeah, take off the headphones.
If she's going, she's got things to do.
Oh, yeah.
We'll see. You know what? Let's take our first break. We might as well because
Yes, I
we're
can
going to
eat
get some more food, and then we'll come back and chat more with Christina Wan on a very busy lunch hour here. You could see this is why They are always popular, always packed, whether it's lunch or dinner. They do a great business here at Christina Wan's. And we'll be back after these words on the Lunchbox.
Thank you.
Mayo here for Delaware Chicken Farm and Seafood Market. Since 1951, family owned for over 70 years, the home of freshness. I've been a customer for over 3 decades, and it's the place to go for poultry, steaks, meats, and of course, their unbelievable selection of fish and seafood. They've got it all: Key West pink shrimp, grouper, snapper, lobster, and of course, Florida stone crab claws of all sizes. Don't forget their famous fish dip and a full selection of prepared foods. It's located at 4191 North State Road 7 in Hollywood, just across from the Seminole Classic Casino. Owner Doug Carter and crew will take great care of you. Make sure to check out their weekly specials and daily catch online at DelawareChicken.com. Quality, value, freshness, that's the Delaware way. Tell them Mike Mayo and the Lunchbox sent you. Do you like pizza? Who doesn't like pizza? Well, my spot for pizza is the Pizza Spot. It's in that little bit hard to find Riverside Park neighborhood of Fort Lauderdale, but it's totally easy to love. It's at 601 Southwest 12th Avenue, New Haven style, a pizza from Wade and Reese. It's a lovely outdoor spot. You could also pick up pies to go at 754-779-7788, 754-779-7788. Again, they're open every day but Monday for lunch and dinner. Some of the best pizza I've ever had. Go to Pizza Spot. They also have subs, salads, and more. Tell them the Gambling Gourmet sent you. If you like seafood in a comfortable setting, outdoors, even keel fish shack at the corner of A1A and Commercial Boulevard in Lauderdale by the Sea, that's my spot. It's upscale food in a down-home setting. The chef owners, Dave and Brad, do a terrific job with all the seafood classics that you want. They have the best grilled oysters in town, bang bang shrimp, lobster rolls, and deli fish specials. They also have weekend brunch Saturday and Sunday. They have deli happy hour 4 to 7, and they also have other weekly specials like mussels on Monday and oysters on Tuesday. Go to Even Keel Fish Shack and tell them that the Lunchbox sent you. People come to me and say, Mike, where should I go out to eat? I got guests coming from out of town. Where should we go? Cafe Seville. That's the answer. 2768 East Oakland Park Boulevard. It's a Fort Lauderdale perennial, serving the finest in Spanish and continental cuisine in a cozy, friendly, comfortable setting. Joey Esposito and Sally, his better half, they've been running the place for a long time. It's been open since the 1980s. They got great Spanish classics like paella, shrimp with garlic sauce, and all kinds of great seafood dishes. The stuffed veal chop, oh, that's my favorite. Go to Cafe Seville. It's open every day but Sunday at 5 p.m. for dinner. Tell them that the Lunchbox Mayo and Defo sent you. Do you like burgers? Do you like wings? Do you like late night food and sports on big screen TVs and cold beer and friendly vibe and great people? Then you want to check out Shenanigans, 1300 South Federal Highway in Dania Beach. You go to Shenanigans, you get yourself all the good stuff, the fresh fish every day, the blackened grilled wings, and of course, the kitchens are open late. Go there, tell them that the Lunchbox Mayo and Defo sent. You know what? Hey, we're back on the Lunchbox and the Pandemonium lunch hour. It's been one of those days, Neki Mohan, where I had a flat tire. I was scrambling around this morning. You've had your work engagements, and here we are. We're at Christina Wan's.
Yes, but I was so excited because this is somewhere where it's
And-
close to my office.
And we're going to get Christina back wired up. She's been running around and greeting all the guests, and it is really a impressive sight to see this, this packed house in downtown Fort Lauderdale. After the pandemic, a lot of people in this downtown corridor were saying, "Oh, the offices are slow to come back.
Yeah.
We don't know if we're ever gonna, we're ever gonna see live people again. If everything is just gonna go to takeout and the delivery apps and all that stuff." But you seem to have a pretty thriving in-person live business, right?
Yeah, lunch is still a challenge. It has his days. I think if you uh, ask around. A lot of restaurants are not open for lunch.
Right.
Right.
Well, a lot of the higher end places now,
Yeah.
just because of the labor difficulties
Right.
and the cost issues,
Correct.
they just decide to focus on just that
Just
kind of
dinner.
that one
Yeah,
high
no.
end meal.
Yeah.
But to me, you got to have lunch service because once you're already paying rent, you might as well be producing revenue. But
Correct. But the labor cost comes in.
right, and
you
that's
know.
the real
Do
struggle
you
these
get a
days.
lot of business from all the apps? From the
I
DoorDash?
do.
Good.
I do. I think the number one app for everybody should be Uber.
Uber Eats.
Yes. Well, Uber Eats is because everybody has Uber.
Right.
Okay, and they rack up points or what have you
So it's
using.
good for the customers. Is it good for the restaurants? Because at
No.
the beginning, I heard they
No,
were
it's not.
taking a huge percentage.
30%.
Do you increase your prices then that on the Uber Eats app in
Very
order?
for me, very little.
Okay.
Okay.
Because people might not even recognize it. And I always say they should pay for the convenience if they want to,
I know that.
sit around and not have to actually,
I know.
come pick it up themselves.
But a lot of the kids now, like I have a nephew who doesn't. He's in his mid-20s and he
Yeah.
doesn't drive.
That's okay. Well,
Because there's
that's
just like
us in New
they-
York. We had a subway system that would get us around. Here, I
Yeah.
guess if they can't, they just depend on the
Uber.
ride sharing and the bus system and Tri-Rail and
yeah.
the
And you know what? I have to say, Brightline is so good.
nice. Yeah, well,
Yes.
it's getting people
Yes.
up and around and
Yes.
into the downtown areas, which is great.
Yes.
What else do we got here now? We've changed food
Now
after
this
the
is
break.
Mandarin chicken.
Mandarin
Uh-huh.
chicken.
I usually would do beef, but Mandarin chicken and beef is something I wanted to introduce people to. 'Cause
Okay.
People, it's really tender, right?
looks
That's
delicious.
Chicken. It's great.
And we've got it with some
And then
onions
this
and
is-
scallions.
Yeah, and this is for a gluten-free person. They can always request fried rice to be made with no soy.
Oh, okay.
Oh,
This is
wow.
like the house fried rice with
Gluten-free version.
gluten-free version. So
Okay.
I figure
So
I
you are-
show you some of the things that we can do gluten-free.
Absolutely.
Almost I have to say 95% of my stuff is made when you order.
Right.
So you can request for gluten-free.
Right.
Like even this, you can request us to make it gluten-free for you.
I
Yeah.
didn't know soy sauce had gluten in it.
It does.
It does.
I know a
I
bunch
don't
of
cook
people.
either, Christine.
I know
do
a
not
bunch of
cook.
people with celiac disease, and I've learned
Yes.
that that they go to sushi, they don't have soy sauce on the side.
Correct.
It is strictly, they just have a little bit of the wasabi, but
Right. They can have the rice,
soy
and
is
then-
made from wheat.
right. And then
the soy
Chinese
sauce.
restaurant has a lot of rice noodles.
So let me ask you, because you were mentioning about the egg rolls don't have the pork and the shrimp anymore. That the hot and sour soup now also you've substituted the chicken strips, and it was delicious. I had a little bit of that.
Uh-huh.
What do you do? What about like for vegans and vegetarians? Do you
Oh,
have
I
much in
have-
the
I
way
have a
of
huge-
vegan, vegetarian friendly menu? Oh, we've got more stuff coming
okay.
in.
This is
And she is ever the host. She's making sure we've got these are my
this is your request.
I call it mine because I featured it before when it was the Chinese Year of the Pig a while back, and this is one of my favorite dishes that you don't
This is-
usually see.
Yummy.
What do we have in front of us? here?
It's jajangmyeon. It's a very Shanghainese item. Okay, and you typically don't see it in an Asian restaurant. Not here anyway. Underneath is a bed of noodles, and then you have underneath that you have bean sprouts and snow peas, and it's a spicy like a Chinese bolognese.
That's what I would
Oh,
call
wow.
it. It's
Yeah.
like a Chinese,
Give my big
Bolognese.
plates.
and it's made with minced pork.
Ground pork, but
Ground
then
pork,
I
yep.
also customize it for whoever does not eat
Oh,
pork.
I eat the pork, yes,
They
and it's a
eat-
little spicy too.
yes.
Little
right?
ground meat.
Yeah.
Then
ground
we
beef.
would
Look
put
at the way she scoops that. That
I
is
know, that's a
that is
pro.
a total professional right there.
I've
This is
learned
what
how to do
makes
this since I've
Christina
been a
Wan's.
teenager. Okay.
It makes my heart melt, my Brooklyn Jewish heart melt with all this old school Chinese. And again, these jangmyeon noodles, you don't see them anywhere.
Right. And
They're
you can
egg
get them
noodles.
with ground chicken.
Now, I
If
feel
you like.
funny because I'm eating it with a fork. I guess usually I
Want
eat it with chopsticks, but I'll go with the flow here.
So good.
And I'm going to just
Good,
kind of twirl
right?
it like
What's your
spaghetti.
favorite food? Favorite meal?
Oh, this is one of our favorites.
Uh-huh.
Okay. I really kind of brought you all my favorites, and then so it's
I love that.
and the vegetarian on your vegetarian options. I have so many tofu options. Okay, so all
Yep.
my sauces for those are done are are vegan anyway.
I feel like Asian restaurants led the whole vegan transformation because you guys
Yeah.
always had a tofu option.
right, but we make it like crispy.
Yes.
Okay, so we coat it with a little cornstarch.
Yes.
So
We got
that's
more.
good for the even just the
Oh.
Okay, this is my
We're being hit with
version
more and more. This is
of the
unbelievable.
sweet
Wait,
and sour
yep,
chicken.
yep.
I mean sweet and sour shrimp.
Sweet and
Okay.
sour shrimp. Okay.
Okay, with no heavy batter,
Yep.
just a little
Yeah. And you,
so even if you're vegan, you can eat that. I mean, not vegan,
Vegetarian.
gluten free.
gluten free. Okay.
Okay, because the coating on there is just a little cornstarch coating.
Little cornstarch, but none
So-
of the wheat products. None of
Correct.
the batters.
And then
right.
and the sauce is thickened with cornstarch, so
Right.
it's okay for the for the gluten free people
Okay.
as well.
Like for personal confession. So Chinese food is my go-to breakup food. Like some people will just think and then followed by the ice cream. But like if I'm having a really bad day, my comfort food is go to big thing of Chinese food.
yeah.
Makes everything better.
See,
Yeah, a lot of people say that. A lot of people say Chinese food is comfort food.
It is.
I need to have comfort food.
well, for me, it's any noodle dish. I love any kind of, the Chinese noodles, lo meins, the Singapore
Rice
noodles, the
yeah.
beef chow
Oh,
funs.
beef chow fun.
But it's jiaming.
Jiangmen.
Jiaming is
Yeah.
because it's such a unique dish that I don't find everywhere, and I love the flavor profile. Of it.
Yeah.
Thank you.
How often do you go to China?
I used to go often when my father was there. Because my father retired and then my mom passed away, and he didn't want to stay here. He went back to China,
Yeah.
and then at that time I went a lot. But he's been gone 7 years now. I haven't been back since then. Yeah,
I understand.
yeah. Now it's very hard to travel over there
Really?
because of COVID,
COVID.
and all that. It's even my guys. They used to go back every year. But since COVID, of course, they haven't. But this year, they want to go back. It's been a challenge. The flights are not going there anymore too
Wow.
much. America's Continental and all of that airline has, or United, has now reduced the number of flights
Yeah.
there.
And I feel like right when COVID hit, a lot of travel companies were in the process of expansion because Royal Caribbean had just launched a Chinese cruise. Because I remember my really good Chinese friend works for Royal.
Oh, okay.
Her name's Laura Mao. And I remember they had just launched, and her husband lived in China.
Oh, okay.
So my daughter went to school with all those kids, and we would always go to their house, and their grandmother would come over and cook for us. and,
Yeah.
So I feel like it's taking a while to come back.
Yeah, it is. And also, cruises in China could be a challenge too, anyway. But the people are different
No.
about cruising in China. Trust me, I know somebody who had a cruise line in China, and they
It's not
cancel
part of the
that.
culture.
So
It's
let
not
me-
part of the culture.
Right.
Let me ask a food question about Chinese cuisine because we get it sometimes a
Oh.
lot where people, when the subject is MSG, MSG seems to have gotten an unfair rap through the
It
years.
is.
That
It has.
it's one of the oldest flavor enhancers that's not just used in Asian or Chinese
No.
food. It's used throughout the world. It's used big time in a lot of the Greek seasonings that are in the
Yeah.
stores, and basically any kind of flavor, spice, kind of blend. A lot of times has MSG. Do you use MSG and it got an unfair rap because one person wrote one letter that was published that was completely unvetted and unscientific back in the 60s that blamed MSG for all the world's ills and every migraine headache, and it ends up being not scientifically true or proven at all. Right?
Yeah, I know, and it's really, and then and it's only hitting Chinese restaurants,
Right.
and I don't understand that. I at one time, this many years ago, I went to Publix.
Mhm.
I'm in the deli counter,
Mm-hmm.
boar's head meat. Okay,
Right.
They had that label right on it. I'm sitting there reading it. It says
Monosodium
MSG.
glutamate, right?
Yes.
It says right on the label.
It
but-
doesn't say MSG. It says monosodium glutamate. But
Same
that's
substance.
exactly what
Right.
it is. Now they even call it another name because of that.
And it's gotten now with some of these really famous chefs have embraced it and extol the virtues of MSG as one of those things that
Really?
brings out flavor
Yeah.
and as one of those umami enhancers.
But
So do you use it sparingly, or does now everybody ask for it? No MSG, or how do you
I do
handle
it
that?
very sparingly, and in the soup I would have a little bit of
Mhm.
it, because you just, when you're making big pots of soup, you just need a little flavor enhancer. My grandmother used to use it at home, and true MSG is a natural salt.
Right.
Okay, now ones that you find and it's still sold at Publix. It's called Accent.
Mm.
Okay.
Accent is MSG.
Right.
Okay,
And people need to realize,
And there's an accent used for people with high blood pressure,
that I don't
instead
know.
of salt.
I'm not sure.
Instead of salt.
That could be. I'm not
Yeah.
sure.
But Accent is exactly what it is.
Right. It's
Wow.
the same substance. And you point out something which, look, it's an ugly truth, that there is this kind of underlying, maybe unconscious racism of, they'll target an ingredient in a Chinese dish, MSG, but the same thing is all over the
It's
rest
all
of the
over.
world,
Yeah.
It
and
is.
nobody says a peep about it.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah. Did
Nobody.
you guys have any issues during COVID? Because he's speaking about people coming out.
No, because
I
COVID.
like to think our community is a little more tolerant than most communities.
Yeah. COVID was for us, was for every Chinese restaurant or pizzeria should have been amazing because of the takeout. Okay, all I did was close the door, move all my dishes into my dining room, and stock all my shelving with containers. And they picked up at the door. That was it. So it was really actually very good for a lot of the people. I mean, I remember when they call when it was on TV, they say Broward County is gonna. It happened on St. Patty's Day, okay, and it was on a Tuesday, and it was my day I
Yep.
was closed, and then they said nobody can open tomorrow. That's Wednesday. I called my servers and say, "Don't come in. All my cooks, please come in." So all we did was just start doing takeout. That's it.
it was the quick pivot, and those that quickly pivoted and adjusted
Right. Correct. And
were
a
able
lot
to
of
thrive.
the
Yeah.
a lot of the steakhouses, okay,
Mhm.
even now still do takeout.
Yeah.
I mean, I know the executive chef at Capitol Grill, and he was still doing takeout.
No, and a lot of them weren't ever thought they were going to do the takeout business, but the old saying is, necessity is the mother of invention, and that happened a
Correct.
lot. And a lot of steakhouses, our friends at Tropical Acres,
Right.
they quickly pivoted to become a butcher shop. They had all their
Correct.
great cuts of meat they started selling, and I would grill at home their great cuts of meat. So
Correct.
I'm glad that look, the ones that had a loyal following and have
Oh,
been
yeah.
part of the community, and you have certainly done that. I want to tell people about, we mentioned your nephew and Temple Street Eatery, but you kind of gave him a leg up to get the business started, right?
Yeah, I think my parents did as well.
Right.
What I learned extremely a lot from my father is about customer service, knowing your customers, what they want, and how to remember them. They want to be remembered when they walk in the door.
Mm-hmm.
Hi, how are you?
Right.
Whatever you remember when they were here last time.
Right. The personal touch.
The
Yeah.
personal touch is so important. And that's something I don't see anymore in
Yes.
any of the.
Especially at some of these corporate chains.
Oh, my
And you
God.
got the kids today, especially the hostesses now. And I
Oh,
don't mean to get into the whole, the grousing about things, but they're on these tablets that are now their seating charts.
correct.
And they're looking down the whole time, and they're never engaging with you when
Correct.
you walk in.
Correct.
And it's, I guess, a generational thing. And now I sound like the angry old man, but it's like, when you walk in here,
Right.
you're here, you're smiling, you're greeting people.
Right.
Hey, how are you today?
Yeah.
Right.
How's the kid? How are you going to have the usual? You're going to have the spare ribs and the soup. You remember
Right.
their orders, right?
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's just not even to that. Just a hi, how are you? I have your reservation. That's it. There is, and now there's restaurants you are made to order with your phone.
Yes.
Right. Where you're sitting
I mean,
at the restaurant. Yes.
Oh,
That
yes. Every day.
is like, are you kidding
There's a-
me?
Right.
It's a
But,
very
and the thing is that, a restaurant is a community,
Correct.
right? You come for a meal. A meal is supposed to be an opportunity to
Correct.
connect.
Correct.
It's much more than just about the food. And if
Right.
more people understood that about every business,
Right.
they would do better.
I know they do, and then you don't, and they could criticize the food, but nobody's responding immediately. They need immediate response. Why we do some things, and things like that.
So they take good care of you here at Christina Wan's. They've been a long time member of the community. That's
When
why
you're
we
here,
wanted
your
to
family.
spot. We like to
Yes,
spotlight
definitely.
places like this on the Visit Lauderdale editions of the Lunchbox, because things that are in your backyard that maybe you don't necessarily, maybe you've driven past a million times and never been in. And we all have places like that
Oh,
in
yeah.
our neighborhoods. And I
Definitely.
always encourage people, like, if you've driven past the place a million times and it's been there for more than 15 years,
Yeah.
it means it's doing
It's
something
great.
right. Go on in one time and just check it out. I
Yeah.
always encourage people to break their habits, and
Yeah.
even if you've gone to this one place, try something else one time.
Right.
If I could go into food critic mode for a second
Yeah.
and just kind of, because I love the whole idea of the gluten-free rice. And you think, oh, fried rice, it has to have the soy sauce to give it that fried edge and all that. But that is such a clean tasting thing. And
It
all your
is.
ingredients are
Right. Nice and fresh.
Oh,
nice
yeah.
and
It does
fresh.
taste
It's
very
vibrant.
fresh.
There's a vibrancy without having that soy sauce coating and sometimes maybe say covering up other flavors. This kind of, it pops, and you could tell it's freshly made to order. And I love it. And you could jazz it up in other ways with the mustard and all that. And if I could continue to rhapsodize, the Mandarin chicken is excellent. I love the sauce on it. Also very good, nice, comfort tasting. And we all have our subjective taste. I'm not a big sweet and sour person. I don't like that sweet, savory thing too much. And I particularly never liked Chinese dishes that had the cornstarch, because I always would say, oh, they're gloppy. But I tasted this. First of all, the shrimp is outstanding, and you're using
Thank you.
quality products.
We always use that size of shrimp.
And it also, like, it's not gloppy at all, and it has the nice sweet and sour, and the cornstarch, yeah, it gives it that little bit of the thickening, but the flavors itself, it tastes fine. So if you are a sweet and sour fan, I would definitely recommend
Yeah,
that.
because you see, it's not that bright red.
Right.
We use natural fruit juice
Mhm.
instead of that reddish color
Yeah.
and
Yeah,
stuff
which
like that.
which I think is going to be in my daughter's body when she's an autopsy. So all she eats is that orange chicken stuff. How have you done with your prices? Because I know after COVID, everything went crazy
Yes.
through the roof. Was that a real challenge?
Yes. For number one, is eggs. Because we use a lot of eggs in all the fried rices and egg for young. We use a lot of eggs because we make a lot of fried rice. And that was a challenge. When you couldn't get eggs, and eggs went from 30 something dollar to 100 and something. And also one other thing is that yellow mustard. That
The
yellow
Chinese
mustard,
yeah.
or the Chinese mustard, the powder mustard we used to get in a 25-pound bag before COVID
Right.
was $42.
Okay.
You know how much it is now? For the
I'm going to say
same
$180.
$140.
Wow,
Wow.
that's a big increase.
104. I couldn't even get it during COVID. I had to order it online.
So
And now it's a deal if you can get it for 125.
and these are the
Wow.
reasons why a place where you used to get request the house mustard, when you do your takeout order, and it would be free. Now some places
Yeah.
charge 75 cents, and I
Yeah.
guess customers also have to be more understanding that there's a reason for that. It's
Correct.
not like they're
But
just
also
trying
too,
to
it
catch
cuts
it.
down on waste. Because how many people have a drawer at home
Yeah.
full of condiments?
Yeah.
I
Yeah,
know
but
I
those
do.
are the packages. But
I know.
the homemade ones, I mean, like duck sauce.
Yeah.
Okay. Every restaurant, no, I have to tell you that there's no more sit down. But even the sit down don't make their own duck sauce
Right.
anymore.
Yeah.
They're all in packages.
And
Am
they're
I
all
right?
terrible.
Right. So we still make our own.
Right.
Okay.
And this is an ingenious
Is
way
there
of
any
serving
duck
it,
in the
'cause
duck sauce?
No, it's
Why is it called duck sauce?
because years ago when you eat Peking duck,
you would
there
put that
is
on.
there is
Oh.
a sweet sauce that
Yeah.
goes with it. Not exactly the
Oh,
same,
okay.
but it's
Same thing with fish sauce. Fish sauce doesn't have fish in it. It's
Yeah.
fermented
oh
things,
my
right?
god. Have you ever tried straight fish sauce before it's been mixed?
Oh, it's kind of funky, huh?
Very, very salty.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. But and it's ingenious the way you serve it, because some places they put it in these one-time use dishes and you have to toss it. This is reusable, I guess, at
Right,
every
and it keeps it
table.
clean.
Keeps it clean. It's like the syrup at the Pancake House. So
You know why? Because I had that Pancake House restaurant. Remember when I opened the Kitchen 420 restaurant?
yes.
I tried to do American.
Yep.
I had a great chef at the beginning, but he just couldn't control the line.
Right.
And I wasn't there all
You've
the
had-
time.
You've done some, and look,
I
this is one of the
tried.
reasons I respect you food-wise,
I
because
tried.
you try different things. You are a big food lover. We always talk different restaurants. You like getting around town.
Yeah.
And you had a couple of efforts there in that spot, the 420 American place, the
And the Kina.
Kina, which I liked. Some of those dishes there blew me away, but
Outrageous.
it just
Was
didn't
before its time.
Yeah. So, but let's focus on the successes. I mean, Alex is now, the Temple Street Eatery that you helped start. Now that's his and Diego's, and they're killing it with their crowd.
Yes, and they added the Latin flair to that, right?
Yes, they did. Yes, they did.
Yeah, and that works.
And it's all part of the great big mix that we love.
I love going out to eat because I know Diego and his wife, and I got going to because Alex, Diego will order everything on a menu.
Yes, that's Alex too.
They will order everything. They go, we are going to try everything, and I'm like, okay. And they will literally try everything.
Yeah.
They're such foodies.
And the other reason I like those guys, besides their talent, is that they're philanthropic minded, like Tim and Baloo and Alex and Diego. They're heavily involved with that No Kid Hungry charity that a lot of the chefs in the food world help out. And that's part of the reason why it's all part of giving back. And Christina does it. And it's one of the things here, Greater Fort Lauderdale, Visit Lauderdale. We are part, of a community, and we embrace diversity and everyone under the sun, every dish under the sun, and that's it's a real pleasure to be able.
I'm definitely gonna be back for those wings. Those are great.
I'll be back for the. I don't even remember the name. Jajangmyeon. And I just call it the Chinese
bolognese.
Pork bolognese. Yeah,
yes, I have introduced that to a lot of people, and they really enjoy it.
Well, I like Skyline chili, which isn't really chili; it's kind of Greek meat spaghetti bolognese, and I like spaghetti bolognese, and in any kind of cultural package that you put it in, whether it's the Italian version or what province is this from? Do you know?
Shanghai.
Okay, and that's the other thing. People say Chinese food. This is a country of. What is it? 1.7 billion people now. How many provinces and time zones? It's like,
God.
Have you been to China?
I have never been.
Neither have I.
And I would love to go. I'd love to go to Hong Kong.
I think you guys have missed the boat in going to Hong Kong because Hong Kong was so prosperous and vibrant in the 90s
and then
the early
before
2000s.
the transfer of
absolutely
from British to
because remember, every country or everybody who needed to do business with China had to go through Hong Kong.
Right.
Okay. So I have a customer who used to work for IBM there. He goes, the best of every food is in Hong Kong.
Right. Because
but
it was
not
a
anymore.
Global stopping grounds. But hey, we don't do too badly ourselves here. More than 72 different types of cuisine with the Visit Lauderdale, the Greater Fort Lauderdale area. So again,
Fort Lauderdale's grown so much. We lived in Hollywood. I worked downtown Fort Lauderdale in the 80s, and it's tremendous.
Great. Hey, we got to take one more break, but we do want to tell people visitlauderdale.com is where you'll find all the latest activities, events.
Yeah, we just wrapped up Sea
promotions.
Trade, which is one of the largest shows in the cruise industry this weekend.
Nice.
This weekend,
last week, and Tortuga in a couple weeks
is coming up. The
Tortuga's
crowds are going to be
so many things already sold out, but there's still a few tickets. The big headliners: Eric Church, Shania Twain.
Nice.
Shania Twain.
Yeah. Yep.
Isn't Sheryl Crow coming? Is she part of the mix? I think I thought I read that somewhere.
I don't think she's on the Tortuga lineup.
Really? I might make things up
maybe,
now. I'm just at that point where
I don't know. Now I'm going into a food coma, so I don't.
This is great. Let's take one more break and then we'll wrap up with Christina Wan on Wednesday. What day is today? Thursday edition of the Lunchbox. People come to me and say, Mike, where should I go out to eat? I got guests coming from out of town. Where should we go? Cafe Seville. That's the answer. 2768 East Oakland Park Boulevard. It's a Fort Lauderdale perennial, serving the finest in Spanish and continental cuisine in a cozy, friendly, comfortable setting. Joey Esposito and Sally, his better half, they've been running the place for a long time. It's been open since the 1980s. They got great Spanish classics like paella, shrimp with garlic sauce, and all kinds of great seafood dishes. The stuffed veal chop, that's my favorite. Go to Cafe Seville. It's open every day but Sunday at 5 p.m. for dinner. Tell them that the Lunchbox Mayo and Defo sent you. Do you like burgers? Do you like wings? Do you like late night food and sports on big screen TVs and cold beer and friendly vibe and great people? Then you want to check out Shenanigans, 1300 South Federal Highway in Dania Beach. You go to Shenanigans, you get yourself all the good stuff, the fresh fish every day, the blackened grilled wings, and of course, the kitchens are open late. Go there, tell them that the Lunchbox, Mayo, and Defo sent. Looking for a great place for steaks, seafood, and more? Go to Tropical Acres Steakhouse and Butcher Shop. It's at 2500 Griffin Road in Dania, just west of I-95 and the airport. They've been there a long time, since 1949. That means they're doing something right. You'll get old school hospitality from the Studiali family, along with great value, tremendous service. Of course, you could also go into the bar for happy hour every day, 4 to 6. The early bird special runs from 4:30 to 5:30, and they have great value all night long. Also, a butcher shop that's open every day from 10 a.m. to 6 p.m. except Sunday. The dining room is open every day at 4:30 except Sunday. Go to Tropical Acres. Tell them the Lunchbox sent you. Hey, it's Mike Mayo. When the Brooklyn boy in me wants a good bagel with Nova or some matzo ball soup, homemade knishes, or a great deli pastrami sandwich on rye, you know where I go? Grandpa's Cafe in Dania Beach. It's been around a long time, an institution, but a little over a year ago, a pair of New Yorkers came in, bought it, and refurbished the place. It's beautiful, and they are now serving great breakfast, brunch, lunch. They've got the omelets. They've got eggs Benedict. They've got all kinds of great baked goods like rugelach. Grandpa's is just off Federal Highway on Southwest 1st Street in Dania Beach. It's open 7 days. Go in there, tell them that the Lunchbox sent you. When I'm looking for some wicked good food for a wicked good lunch, there's only one place to go. That's Wicked Cheesesteaks in Fort Lauderdale. It's at 4824 North Federal Highway, just south of Commercial Boulevard and across from Holy Cross Hospital. My friend Brian there, he will hook you up with some really tasty treats. They've got cheesesteaks just like the best you can find in Philly, along with lobster rolls, because that's where he's from, Maine originally, and they have wings and pizza and everything you want to have a really good time. Wicked Cheesesteaks, they're open every day but Tuesday. Go in there on a Wednesday. They got buy one, get one on cheesesteaks from 5 to 8 p.m. Check them out online, wickedcheesesteaks.com. Tell them the Lunchbox sent you.
Oh, we're back. We are back on the Lunchbox, and boy,
They're talking about where they're going to eat. They're
Well,
hilarious.
yeah.
How do you stay so skinny? You work at a restaurant. I mean,
Yeah,
Mayo and I are not so lucky.
No,
No, I do a lot of running around here.
She works hard.
Yes.
when you
Yeah,
work
is
in
that
the
the key,
restaurant
Mayo?
business,
We got to work
do you
hard.
does your phone keep track of your steps and usually
I
over
did,
the
I did.
20,000?
Oh yeah. I am.
So yeah, it always keeps you on your toes. Me, I'm on my tuchus,
Tush. Uh-huh.
and man, I got to recount what we had. I started with the hot and sour soup, and then we had the ribs and the egg rolls and the wings and the chicken, Mandarin chicken, and the sweet and sour shrimp and the jajangmyeon and the gluten-free fried rice. And you can stick I wouldn't say fork, stick a chopstick in me because I'm done. That is like
Yeah, I
something.
I know.
That was some
I'm gonna need a
feast.
nap.
Good.
This
Hey.
is excellent, Christine.
Thank
Thank you
you.
so much. Thank you for bringing your light. I can tell that you just you're a lot of people's go-to for dinner here.
Yes,
in
it is.
Victoria Park.
Right. And also from other places. I have a lot of customers that drive here from all over.
That's
It's
amazing.
just, it is amazing.
The Wan family made a really, good name for themselves in their previous locations in Hollywood. And I know when I first moved down here, it was there on Sheridan Street, and I would go there. And then when I saw that Christina came up here, I always follow along. And when the newsroom back once upon a time was downtown, come in here for lunch often. I mean, Shuck and Dive next door and here, it was like a murderer's row for eaters. It was great. So
Yeah. I mean, I feel very blessed to have some of my father's customers that's known us since we've been kids, to now, and they still come here every week. It's amazing. It is amazing.
that's the gratifying part, is when you see the kids grow up and then they get married and then their kids start coming. It's,
Yeah. Allison across the street in the animal hospital.
Yeah.
Her father was a pediatrician in Hollywood, so I've known her since she's been young.
That's
Wow.
They call it the
it's amazing.
hospitality
It is.
business for
It
a reason,
is.
because it's long time
But
relationships. And
it's really going away from that now.
well, let's.
Yeah, no.
But
Yeah,
you're
We'll try to
keeping-
keep it.
You're
We'll try
keeping
to
the
keep it.
tradition alive.
We'll try to keep
And
it.
you know what? A lot of it has to do. We didn't. We got to get out of here. But it depends on. Hopefully, landlords want local-based restaurants to stay alive, and you got to price the rents in a way that
They
because it's got to make sense. Because otherwise, if you have the food costs go up too high, people can't pay that anymore, and nothing, and there won't be anything except for who knows what.
Right.
Yeah. So
and then only the corporates can afford
Right.
it. You know what I'm saying?
yeah, and we lose a lot if it's nothing but
Yeah.
the chain where we love having all our distinct, individual,
Thank you.
unique
Thank you for having me.
mom and pops. Christina Wan, thank you so much for joining
you
us on
so
the
much.
Lunchbox today. Neki
Thank you for
Mohan,
feeding us.
Thank you.
it's good to have you back. Mike Lubitz being the silent, strong one today. Thank you for all the technical work. Jeff Tifo DeForest. Sorry, you have to come here to get this mustard. I can't put it in a container right now, but it is delicious. For everybody out there, come on out to Christina Wan's at some point, 664 North Federal Highway in downtown Fort Lauderdale. For everybody here on the Lunchbox, tune in again tomorrow. We'll be at Gulfstream Park. Come on out, Nikki. It's going to be the pre-Florida Derby
What I know
celebration.
what I have to do tomorrow.
Oh, man. It's
It's
going to
that
be a
week. It's a
party.
crazy week.
We're getting ready for the big Saturday Florida Derby card at
Really?
Gulfstream. We do every Friday. We have contests to give away Sunday brunch packages there. That's going to be all on tomorrow's Lunchbox. Tune in then. Till then, enjoy every plate of food. Enjoy every egg roll. Enjoy every spare rib. And we'll see you tomorrow on the Lunchbox.
Bye. Thank you.
Mayo here for Delaware Chicken Farm and Seafood Market. Since 1951, family owned for over 70 years, the home of freshness. I've been a customer for over 3 decades, and it's the place to go for poultry, steaks, meats, and of course, their unbelievable selection of fish and seafood. They've got it all. Key West pink shrimp, grouper, snapper, lobster, and of course, Florida stone crab claws of all sizes. Don't forget their famous fish dip and a full selection of prepared foods. It's located at 4191 North State Road 7 in Hollywood, just across from the Seminole Classic Casino. Owner Doug Carter and crew will take great care of you. Make sure to check out their weekly specials and daily catch online at DelawareChicken.com. Quality, value, freshness, that's the Delaware way. Tell them Mike Mayo and the Lunchbox sent you. Do you like pizza? Who doesn't like pizza? Well, my spot for pizza is the Pizza Spot. It's in that little bit hard to find Riverside Park neighborhood of Fort Lauderdale, but it's totally easy to love. It's at 601 Southwest 12th Avenue, New Haven style, a pizza from Wade and Reese. It's a lovely outdoor spot. You could also pick up pies to go at 754-779-7788, 754-779-7788. Again, they're open every day but Monday for lunch and dinner. Some of the best pizza I've ever had. Go to Pizza Spot. They also have subs, salads, and more. Tell them the Gambling Gourmet sent you. If you like seafood in a comfortable setting, outdoors, even keel fish shack at the corner of A1A and Commercial Boulevard in Lauderdale by the Sea, that's my spot. It's upscale food in a down-home setting. The chef owners, Dave and Brad, do a terrific job with all the seafood classics that you want. They have the best grilled oysters in town, bang bang shrimp, lobster rolls, and deli fish specials. They also have weekend brunch Saturday and Sunday. They have deli happy hour 4 to 7, and they also have other weekly specials like mussels on Monday and oysters on Tuesday. Go to Even Keel Fish Shack and tell them that the Lunchbox sent you.